Hello everyone and welcome to the ISU Junior Grand Prix 2026. We are in Xi'An, China, a city of just over 13 million. We're about 2.5 hours by plane northwest of Beijing. In the spectacular Xi'an Arena, where over the next 3 days we'll see many wonderful junior skaters. Some we know and some we don't. I'm Ted Barden. Mark Hanratty will be joining me from his home studio in Nottingham. Now, the junior world champions from last season, in pairs, Kemp and Elizaroff of Canada, have moved into seniors. The dance champions of Aboan and Vesalukin of the United States are returning to the junior ranks this season. However, the men's champion from Japan, Ryo Nakata, and the four-time women's champion, also from Japan, Mao Shimada, will go up against the seniors this season, and that we will follow with great interest. So we begin the 4-year journey to the French Alps and the 2030 Winter Olympic Games. 7 weeks, 7 countries, close to 1,000 entries. It's day one, and we begin with the rhythm dance. 18 entries from 14 nations, and it starts right now.
Let's welcome our first group of ice dancers.
欢迎第一组运动员入场。
Representing Italy,
意大利组合。
Zoe Bianchi and Daniele Basile. Representing France,
法国组合。
Kira Liskova and Taori Tadeduge. Representing People's Republic of China,
中国组合李芷璇、葛全硕。
Representing France,
法国组合
Romy Reverchon and Victor Dimuzio. Skaters, your 5-minute warm-up begins now.
运动员现在将进行5分钟热身。
Both skated with other partners before teaming up. They finished 7th at the 2026 World Junior Championships and are the current Italian junior silver medalists. Both were born in and train in Milan. Representing Italy, Zoe Bianchi and Daniele Basile.
将在本组首先登场的这对组合，两人在搭档前都曾与其他选手合作。他们在2026年世界青年锦标赛中排名第7，是现任意大利青年组的亚军，均出生并训练于米兰。各位观众，欢迎意大利组合佐伊比安基和丹尼尔巴西莱。
This new team is making its junior Grand Prix debut in Xi'an. She is 17 and he is 19. Their coaching team includes Olivier Schoenfelder, the 2008 World Ice Dance Champion with partner Isabelle Delobel. Representing France, Kira Liskova and Tahori Tadeduge.
将在本组第2位登场的这对组合在西安迎来他们青年组大奖赛的首秀，女伴17岁，男伴19岁。他们的教练团队中包括奥利维耶·舍恩菲尔德，他是2008年世锦赛冰舞的冠军。各位观众，欢迎法国组合基拉·利斯特科巴和塔奥里·塔代迪干。
This is a new team who got together last year, and they are the Chinese Figure Skating Interleague champions. They also posted a top 10 finish at the 2025 Dankova Stavisky Cup. From People's Republic of China, let's welcome Li Xi'An and Ge Xuanzhou.
将在本组第3位登场的这对组合，他们去年正式牵手成组，曾在中国花滑俱乐部联赛中斩获多枚奖牌。各位观众，欢迎中国组合李芷璇、葛全寿。
This is their second ISU Junior Grand Prix appearance. They ranked 7th in the national junior standings earlier this year and won silver at the 2025 Trophée Métropole Nice Côte d'Azur. Representing France, Romeo Verchamp and Victor Dimuzio.
将在本组中第4位登场的这对组合，这是他们第2次参加国际赛青年组的大奖赛。今年早些时候，两人在法国青年组比赛中排名第7。各位观众，欢迎法国组合罗比、梅贝尔什、勒维多、德布齐奥。
Skaters, there's 1 minute remaining in the warm-up.
热身环节将在1分钟后结束。
Skaters, this concludes the warm-up. Would you please clear the ice?
热身环节结束，运动员请退场。
Our first skaters represent Italy.
首先登场的是意大利组合。
Zoe Bianchi and Daniel Basile.
This is a song about the greatest heartbreak I've ever known. This song is called Nightingale Lane. On the street in the South London suburbs, where my first love kissed me goodbye. His lips were thin and beer stained and tear stained. It was a pain that made me colder now. After the oceans I cried, I made of steel, just floating now. When I drive down this road, I reminisce. I drive red lights, the closed eyes. I tell myself to go on, just say somebody loved me once, and someday somebody will again, like the way you love me on Nightingale Lane. Although we never made it, stranger, you showed me it's true. I'm capable of loving someone the way I loved you. It was right there. Why did you? It's next door, Park Avenue. Sometimes at red lights, the closed eyes. I tell myself, in fact, I tell myself to go on, just say it. Somebody love me once, someday somebody will again, like the way you love me on Nightingale Lane. Baby, where the hell is my husband? What is taking him so long to find me? Oh, baby, where the hell is my lover? Getting down with another. Tell him if you see him, baby. If you see him, tell him. He said, why is this beautiful man waiting for me to get over? He already tested my patience. I only feel it taking time with other women that ain't me, but I've been refusing, and I can't just wait till I got my hands on him. I'ma tell him I'm too for how long. He got me waiting, anticipating, praying to the Lord to give him to my loving arms. Satisfy my fresh face, just need me, completely. How my heart yearns for you. Is he far away? Is he yours? This man is testing me. Help me, Lord. I need you to tell me, baby, where the hell is my husband? What is taking him so long to find me? Oh, where is my husband?
Junior Grand Prix final last year, so opening the whole Junior Grand Prix series places a little bit of pressure upon them, but I'm sure they're eager to be in contention when we conclude this event, and that was a strong start. The skating skill quality that they have immediately visible on the ice, and now the technical panel just looking back at the 5 elements that they delivered, 5 elements for all the teams, and one of them under review as they look back at the Westminster Waltz, which this season a little bit different interpretation of it in terms of the pattern. There aren't pattern restrictions this year for the junior dancers, as we see. So Daniel and their coach.
The scores, please.
We wait for their scores to come up, and just a note in the upper left-hand part of the screen during the performance.
Zoe Bianchi and Daniel Basile have earned
yellow means it will be reviewed by the
57.96
technical
points
panel as we take a look at it.
for
57.96, a pretty good score to start this event. Again, we apologize for being off there as we get started. We seem to be back now as we move on to
Our next
the
skaters
second team
represent
in
France.
the rhythm dance. Representing France,
Kira
Kira
Liskova
Liskova
and
and Tahori Tade Dug, 17 and 19 years of age. They're new to the Junior Grand Prix this season. They're coached by Muriel Zazawi, choreography by Olivia Schoenfelder.
And he competed in China a couple of years ago at the Junior Grand Prix in Wuxi, and delighted to be back competing in China now with his new partner as they perform to Swan Lake. Kira Liskova and Tare Tade from France, the second team competing in the rhythm dance. And already in just the two performances, we're seeing what diversity is on display with the performance and music interpretation from the teams. And Swan Lake, the vehicle for Kira and Tare, really good choice for a team that is competing in essentially their first competition. Kira moved to France last July, so the team have been skating together and training for over a year now, but she was waiting for a release from her federation to be able to compete, and now finally able to show the skating world their potential. And obviously another team like the opening couple showcasing quality skating skills early on, perhaps a little bit tight on occasion, but given the fact that this is their first competitive experience as a team, that not unsurprising. And now for Kira and Tahari, technical panel reviewing two of the elements, and we're just seeing now that they've also had an extended lift deduction, so 1 point deduction because their lift exceeded the maximum 8-second requirement. Okay. And there we see Kira and Tahari joined by Marian de l'Ascension, who is explaining that he and the team, the coaching staff of Muriel Zazui, Emma Hirai and Olivia Schoenfeld are all recognize and enjoy the great potential that Kira and Tahari showcased to them too. Incidentally, Tahari didn't start till 10 years of age. Started skating after being at a friend's birthday party, and that a relatively late stage to start the sport, but looking very comfortable already as they assess together what has happened. The score posted by Zoe and Daniel leading the field is 57.96. And the skating skills for Kira and Tahari strong. But as we await the inputs of the technical panel, who we see there on screen, we can recognize that the tech score a little bit lower. And just a level 1 on the step sequence, the non-touching step sequence for Kira and Tahari, a level lower than the Italians that went before them. In addition to that deduction for the extended lift as well. So how close will they be to Zoe and Daniel?
Kira Liskova and Tahori Tadejuge have earned a total of 55.90 points for their rhythm dance.
There's an acceptance of 55.90 for Kira and Tahari, who slot in to second place in their debut on the Junior Grand Prix. We look forward to seeing them competing in the free dance tomorrow.
Represents People's Republic of China.
接下来登场的是中国组合李芷璇、葛全硕。
And now we move to the first of 3 Chinese ice dance teams competing. Zhishuan Li and Quan Xiaoge. They will skate to the popular track, The Artist, for their rhythm dance.
Representing the People's Republic of China.
中国组合李芷贤、贺全硕。
Xi'An Li and Quan Xiaoge from China, the first of the Chinese ice dance teams competing. And this, their junior Grand Prix debut, and yet, despite their lack of international experience, the team showcasing a really well-prepared and polished rhythm dance. And yet again, a delight to see already within the opening three teams the different stylization choices for the rhythm and waltz rhythm dance. And Zheng Cheng, their coach, greeting them ringside as we look back. Some of the highlights from their skate. That's the non-touch step sequence there. Back Choctaw as they strive to try to increase the number of cleanly called turns to up the level. And within this element, Quan Xiao had level 2 achieved, but just a level 1 for Xi'An as we see them now in the kiss and cry. But really polished and refined and appropriate to the music choice. Not as much speed and ice coverage as the top two teams, the first two teams that have competed thus far. But an admirable debut on their Junior Grand Prix for a team that has only listed down as one international competitive assignment before when they competed at the Denkova Stavisky Cup in 2025. And as is often the case, there's a domestic event within the competition as well. As I mentioned, 3 Chinese ice dance teams competing here. And of course, they will be eager to come out on top as we consider what will happen later in the season as we look ahead to the Junior World Championships in March of 2027 and which of the respective national teams are selected for the ISU Championship events.
The scores, please. Li Xi'An and Lu Chuanshou have earned 54.39 points for their...
And a respectable score of 54.39 for Xi'An and Quan Xiao. As we see 3 teams in the mid to high 50-point range.
Our next skaters represent France.
We have seen one French team already, now to the second, not just compatriots but training mates as well, as Romy Reverchon and Victor Demuzio start their rhythm dance.
Representing France,
法国组合。
Romy Verchon and Victor
France's
Dimuzio.
Romy Ravachon and Victor Dimuzio complete their rhythm dance, and like their training mate, is going with a more classical approach. It was Swan Lake for Kira and Tahri, and the Nutcracker for Romy and Victor. You can see though a little bit of disappointment for Romy because of the mistake made in the twizzles, and I was actually conscious of the difficulty and the well-executed entry into the twizzles, but challenges were made going into the second. As we look back at the Westminster Waltz, here the first section of the dance being showcased by Romy and Victor now, and here they move into the rocker counter section here. That one of the key points. This was difficult and well executed. The difficult entry into the first twizzle, and there loop jump between the first and the second, but that break in rotation so early on is going to incur just a level 1 likely for Romy on that element, which is a custom mistake for the team. But this is a team that have been together for 8.5 years now already, and so they will have weathered various different storms. They've had health challenges in the past, but very much a united front. And you could see actually that throughout the performance. I thought that Victor appeared to be really supportive, even when the mistake would have been invading their brain space with the frustration of the twizzle mistake. And great coaching staff who will support them. Great to see the smiles and the kiss and cry as Marion joins them. And hearts are shaped as they await their scores. And Marion was explaining that they and the coaches, Muriel and Olivier, recognize that it's a long-term game, and at just 16 years and 17 years of age, they have many years of international junior competition ahead of them. And as we catch sight of the technical panel again, a coaching staff as illustrious as that know what's necessary for long-term success. And how great for us now to be able to see the interaction between the technical specialists and the technical controller as they assess the final element. They're currently reviewing the midline step sequence, at the fifth and the final element for Romy and Victor in their rhythm dance. Just trying to establish how many of the difficult turns were called clean to potentially up the technical element score. How special is that though? As I mentioned, 8.5 years together already. So almost half their lives, indeed half of their life, has been spent training and now traveling the world together.
Victor Dimuzio have earned 50.91 points for their rhythm dance. They are currently
Marion looks satisfied, coach happy with it.
Let's welcome our next group of ice dancers. Representing Japan, Xi'An Ayuri and Nicolas Tomomi. Representing AIN, Farah Ahmed and Mikhail Pitianku. Representing AIN, Manika Deva and Jill Follow. Representing the Republic of Korea, Yolena and Chan Henrik. Skaters, your 5-minute warm begins now.
And so the 4 teams take to the ice for their 5-minute warm-up, preparing for the 5 different elements in the upcoming rhythm dances. And we see now on screen Ayumi Shibayama and Tomoki Kimura. Fascinating that this, a team that is signaling a little bit of what we're seeing within Japanese ice dance. Ayumi Shibayama, she has competed on the Junior Grand Prix before as a single skater, and that's becoming increasingly common and popular within Japanese skating, seeing lots of former successful and illustrious single skaters taking to the discipline, and that perhaps spear-fronted a little bit by their coach Kathy Reed, who is so pivotally eager to elevate that discipline in a nation that has boasted so many great singles and pair skaters. There, Barbara and Mikhail, they too now working through their Westminster waltz. Just confirming again, that is a requirement for all of the teams. Working their way through a compulsory or pattern dance that is 88 years old. But within the context of this, the rhythm dance for the juniors, they can deviate a little bit from the holds that were previously expected, as we see now from Maria and Artem, really showcasing some unique choices of hold. And that will be reflected potentially in the judges' creative execution and in their composition score. And Maria and Artem, a team that have skated together for more than 6 years. Amazing to see already within just the second group of ice dancers, teams that have amassed and established long partnerships already. And they're a team quite the contrary. Lena Yu and Henrik Chan, a team that are just together. Their tryout was in March, so he has only been an ice dancer, never mind within an ice dance partnership. 5 months, so new to the discipline, and yet looking comfortable and happy, woo, to present as we see them get a little bit close, but unfazed at all. As they work through sequential twizzles, so just up to 1 step between the first and the second twizzles. The requirements for this element different to the synchronized twizzles that we will see in the free dance. And the free dance takes place for the junior ice dancers tomorrow. Just to confirm as we enter into the closing section of this warm-up that the requirements for all of the teams this year for the rhythm dance in this 2026-2027 season is rhythm and waltz. And the skaters can choose any style of waltz, so from traditional forms to these modern interpretations. So within the first group we saw Tchaikovsky, and then we saw some much more modern interpretations that totally allowed. The only stipulation is the tempo and the music beat, so the skaters must have music that has a minimum of 162 beats per minute. So that'll be something that the judges and referee will be really mindful of as we see okay. And delighted to share.
Put this back together, and it's just amazing work by a bunch of people. Hopefully you can hear me now. But Mark, what a great job. You're filling in beautifully here. Carry on, introduce the next team, and I'll get back involved here as we move along.
Oh, happy days. Oh, great to hear you back, Ted. As fist pumps are shared. Oh, look at that. Wow, well, this team have been skating together for 2 years. They've already established some great team bonding there as they make their way out to center ice. Representing Japan, Ayumi Shibayama and Tomoki Kimura, 18 and 19 years old respectively. And they a different interpretation again as they perform to Stuck With You, Jump, Jive and Wail for their rhythm dance.
Strike and you're out, baby. Don't care if I sound crazy, but you never let me down. No, no, that's why when the sun's up, I'm standing. Ain't no other way that I can stand it. Oh, 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 oh. You're this time in my hands. Others will cancel our plans. I can stay here forever.
The stylization within the movement of the team, and here now with the non-touch step sequence, this is energetically and stylistically visibly different to what we saw in the latter half of the program when they changed their rhythm to the jive. As we see a choreographic element almost within the rhythm dance, that will be more akin to what we'll see in the free dance to come tomorrow, as we see their difficult entry into the twizzles. And they, I think, the first team to achieve level 4 for both man and woman. As we see difficult exit, and there's a cool transitional lifting pass to conclude the program for the team. And Kathy responsible for the choreography as well as the coaching of the team.
Oh, let's take a look at the scores. A 54.36, not of approval by all three in the kiss squad. That'll put them currently into 4th place. Our next team, neutral athletes, Varvara Rowan and Mikhail Posianko, 19 and 18 years of age.
Barbara Rahun and Mikhail Prusyanko complete their rhythm dance, and what an interesting choice. Of course, waltz mandatory, and then having I Will Survive, the Gloria Gaynor track, and a tango interpretation, a unique music choice for sure, and something that I think the team appeared to be happy to interpret. They were invested and engaged. This team, though, Ted, doesn't have quite the same level of skating skill or depth of knee and ankle as that which we've seen from some of the others, and it does appear like for the astute viewer, you'll have noticed that there were more red boxes in the top left-hand corner of the screen, suggesting a little bit worse grade of execution on the elements. But for them, first major international experience, huge opportunity, huge moment, and hopefully they're feeling satisfied with what they have delivered.
Yeah, we talked a little earlier about the mix of music, which is going to be interesting, not only for this team, but for a number of teams coming up. Let's take us through the replays here, Mark, on this rhythm dance.
Here, that was the entry. You can just see a little bit too far apart, ideally for a positive grade of execution. Getting closer on the second, the clockwise rotating twizzle. And here now, Westminster Waltz. So this left inside mohawk, that a key point. The technical panel will be scrutinizing the quality of the edges and the foot placement there. And then this stepping into the second section of the Westminster Waltz. And now they are right forward inside counter, part of the non-touch steps. And there, you just see a little break in the rotation for Varvara within the twizzle. That one of the difficult turns that we're hoping to have called as clean. And back Choctaw. And this had some good interpretation as we check out the difficult entry into their straight line lift, the final element, and that the only one of the 5 elements that came in with a base grade of execution. But good to see, all smiles and heart-shaped.
The scores, please.
The scores for this rhythm dance, 41.17, and that'll put Barbea and Mikhail currently in the 6th place. Our next team, also neutral athletes, Maria Fetlova and Artem Valov.
And now 14 and 17 years of age, but they've been skating together since Maria was 8 and Artem 11. A quality team, good skating skills, and they, like the team before them, will have tango as part of their rhythm within this rhythm and waltz. What a completely different stylistic choice for the rhythm dance for Maria Sefilova and Artem Valov, the neutral athletes, and so much complexity and difficult transitional content, not just within the level features for some of the elements, but also within the transitions within the program as well.
And you can
Really interesting choices, Ted.
Yeah, no, you can certainly see the skating skills, good depth of edge and nice soft knees, good ice coverage, a lot of ice coverage with this team.
And you really can see the development of the partnership to be able to then have so much complexity. And within their Westminster Waltz, interesting planned program content for this team, because unlike others, they chose to put the Westminster Waltz at the end of the program, and their choice of hold so difficult throughout that, as we see some of the opening and here this amazingly complex as just transitional content leading into the twizzles.
Great speed.
There, just the placement of the right back outside edge on the end of that mohawk, so well delivered within the non-touch step sequence. So we see the engagement from Maria toward the judging panel as they conclude that step sequence with the twizzle. And all of the teams have to do a mandatory short lift, but the choice of features and changes of position so complex for Maria and Artem to push the grid of execution as we see this, the Westminster Waltz. And as I mentioned, the changes of hold really difficult and complex. And the coaches looking happy as they have their flower crowns.
The top score so far is 57.96, I believe. We'll see where this score takes this team. $63.10 as this team takes over first place. One team to go in group number 2.
Our next skaters represent the Republic of Korea. Yolena and Chan Henrik.
And now to the Korean team of Lena Yu and Henrik Chan. As I mentioned during warm-up, their tryout was just in March of this year, so such a new partnership, competing in only their second ever competition together.
Since I survived, I realized wherever you go, that's where I'll follow. Nobody's promised tomorrow, so I'ma love you every night like it's the last night, like it's the last night. If the world was ending, I wanna be next to you. If the party was over and our time on earth was through, I wanna hold you just for a while and die with a smile. If the world was ending, I wanna be next to you. If the world was ending, I wanna be next to you.
Korea's Lena Yu and Henrik Chan. It's Amazing, Ted, what they have achieved. Henrik was 8th at Canadian Nationals in junior singles last year. Lena was 3rd in novice nationals dance last year before her former partner stopped to focus on ice hockey. They've only just got together, and yet they conducted themselves with such a surety. I gather that they've been friends off the ice since they were young kids, and they've known each other a long time, and perhaps that's the reason that they appear so well connected, despite the fact that they've skated for such a short period of time together, and indeed he for such a short period of time as an ice dancer.
Yeah, what a quick
Really
switch from
impressive.
singles into dance in just less than a year. So we take a look at some of the elements.
They're the curve lift, and just the concept of being in a curve lift when you've only been doing ice dance for such a short period of time, delivered and executed well. As we see the twizzles, this had some problems, as is most common for the second twizzle to be the more problematic of the two. You can see pirouetting, breaks and rotation there for Henrik. That was evident in the warm-up as well. He was having a few challenges with that element, so made it through. As we see good speed and ice coverage, but the friendship that they have now, if they can continue to build on that and refine their ice dance stylization and technique, then I think they make a good partnership energetically. So hopefully they continue in the sport for a long time to come, using a helicopter style movement to conclude the choreography.
Well, you can see they're pretty strong skaters. It's just a matter of time and experience for this team. They look like they're having a lot of fun. First time out, of course, in the Junior Grand Prix. First for him in a dance event. So that's a bit of a shocker, moving from singles, which you did. You moved from singles into dance.
Yes.
So you know what it's like.
Yeah, we need to get intel from Henrik as to his experiences of the whole ice dance world comparative to that of the singles, as Andrew Hallam, their coach, joins them in the kiss and cry.
And this team is here just to gain the experience. They've obviously demonstrated their commitment to ice dance and their skill level individually. To this point, they got the assignment as we take a look at the technical panel, working through the replays and coming to a conclusion and do such a great job. And so this team here gaining experience and really a pressureless event for them. There's no pressure on for a result necessarily, but just a gain.
Yeah, and they did do the Korean Junior Grand Prix qualifying competition in July, but so little experience together, so a huge stage for them. And hopefully, we haven't talked about yet, it's basically day one of the first Junior Grand Prix of this series, but the enormity of the occasion and their skating development is huge, but just the concepts of what this is doing in their life, born in Canada, competing in China, representing Korea, just 16 and 18 years of age, only been doing the sport or this discipline in the sport for 5 months. Just the enormity and roller coaster of all of that is so formative in the lives of these young people, being able to conduct themselves with such quality and great.
It could be a little overwhelming with all those things coming at them. So just to sort of enjoy this process and allow themselves to gain experience as the year and years move along, as we take a look at their rhythm dance scores for Lena and Henrik. 41.97, that'll put them currently into 7th place at the conclusion of group number 2. Experience gained and emotions being felt, thinking about what they will do in the free dance and as they move forward in this season. And there'll be an ice resurfacing now, Mark. And what do we normally do in the Junior Grand Prix during ice resurfacing? As we take a look.
Chance for us now as we see the results after the first 2 groups to look back at some must-watch moments. So stay tuned to see the must-watch moments from Baku last year, and then an interview with Leila Villon and Alexander Brandis, who won the Junior Grand Prix in Riga 2025, and then some ice dance skate basics to enjoy.
Well, we'll be back with the final 2 groups right after this.
Here are Mark and Ted's must-watch moments from the 5th stage of the Junior Grand Prix in Baku, Azerbaijan. In the women's event, Korea's Yoo-sung Kim came into this event following disappointment in her first Junior Grand Prix assignment where she finished in 5th place, but here she took gold and now puts herself in contention for her 3rd repeat as a Junior Grand Prix finalist. What about the men's, Ted?
Well, thanks, Mark. In the men's event, Minku Seo of Korea wins his 2nd Junior Grand Prix event, skating to Genesis Symphony Part 3 by Muse. He won both the short and free. He fell in the quad sow in the free program, but clean the rest of the way. A smooth, wonderful, beautiful skater. Mark, what about the ice dance?
The ice dance must-watch moment goes to France's Ombre Ferrier Giannassini and Samuel Lank-Klapperman. They were the favourites coming into this event and they absolutely delivered, and now they're likely to have secured their place in Nagoya, Japan at the Junior Grand Prix final.
My extra must-watch moment from Baku, Sofia Nekrasova from Estonia. She skated a snowstorm number 4 Romance, sophisticated and charming, and she has a very, very bright future.
My must-watch moment goes to Belgium's Denis Kruvlov. His achievement in winning a silver medal in Baku is the first time that a Belgian man has won a Junior Grand Prix medal in almost a quarter of a century. His skating was quality, as were his jumps, and I can't wait to see him compete again in 2 weeks' time in Abu Dhabi. So Layla and Alex, huge congratulations, you are gold medalists. Now you are coming into this Junior Grand Prix season in, I think, your 4th season on the Junior Grand Prix. You've had a bronze medal before, but what were your ambitions and goals for this season?
I just want to be bold, very much out there. Want to prove that we deserve this. We deserve to be
at the top.
the top. Yeah.
Coming into this year, like Alex said, that was a main focus for us, and we really had a lot of passion towards our programs and everything coming into this year, especially after last year. We knew what we needed to improve on, and being able to be here and just get that one step further has felt amazing. We're really proud of ourselves.
And rightly so, you both looked incredible. I particularly loved your free dance. Now, it's an amazing achievement, not just to win gold here, but to have had a partnership that is already 11 years old. You guys have been skating together. I mean, you're not old enough to be skating together for 11 years. So what, though, is the main goal? How many more years are you guys going to skate together? Is there any ambition there?
Until I get tired of her. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
We get told we're like an old married couple because we're definitely like brother sister also. But obviously the big goal is the Olympics one day, and however many years that takes, we're in it and we're ready.
Happy days. Now, we were joking earlier on with your coach, Cara Moyer, who's here and supported you here, about how you put up with Mr. Scott Moyer. I thought that was comical. But you've got an amazing, illustrious coaching staff. How much do they inspire you guys?
Oh, greatly. They're the reason why I want to keep skating. I want to keep improving. They bring really great energy every day at the rink.
Every single day, they inspire us, like Alex said. We can't imagine training anywhere else, honestly. We love all of our coaches. They bring all such a different aspect and different ideas. Like the creativity is just insane, and the care for their athletes. And we absolutely love it.
Oh, that's incredible. So gold here in Riga. Where's the next stop for you guys on the Junior Grand Prix?
Gdansk, Poland.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we wish you all the very best, and thank you for the brilliant skating here.
Thank you.
Welcome to the basics, the difference between ice dancing and pair skating. Now, I was a pair skater. Big, long elements, dynamic, risky, that lifts above the head all the way down the ice. It's pretty incredible stuff. You throw or assist the lady across the ice. Amazing discipline.
Yes, you can almost tell the ice dancers when they walk into the venue. I did ice dance, and we tend to be much more dramatic and expressive, and the ice dancers will try to seamlessly weave their elements into the choreography with perhaps a greater focus upon the aesthetic and the storytelling of the performance than the pair skaters.
Also, in ice dance, skaters must maintain dance hold, and should they separate, they cannot be for more than 2 arms lengths apart.
This rule adds an interesting layer of challenge. It's fascinating to see how the ice dancers skillfully maneuver through complex elements while maintaining such close contact.
And one of the interesting things about pair skating, the men will use a thing called firm grip, which is essentially kind of a glue that goes on their hands to ensure that the grips between the woman and the man stay firm, because it's very, very dangerous in a death spiral or in a lift if those hands slip. So that's important. Do you use firm grip?
No, the ice dancers don't use firm grip, and the difficulty, the complexity and the risk of the pair's elements will not just dictate the grip that's needed between the partners, but also even down to the costume, whereas the ice dancers will be as elaborate as they possibly can in their costuming, and that is the first way in which to differentiate pair skater and ice dancer.
But don't let the beauty of ice dancing fool you in that it's not difficult. It's incredibly difficult to perform at that level, to have their difficult lifts and their difficult elements, both disciplines, spectacular. Welcome back, everyone. Group number 3 in the rhythm dance. I'm Ted Barton, Mark Hownready joining me as we take a look. We'll step aside as you get introduced to group number 3 in this.
Representing the United States of America. Anthony Stewart and Maxim Protocol. Skaters are climbing the Olympians now.
Okay, we're back for coverage of group number 3. You see the start order on your screen right now. I'm Ted Barton along with Mark Hownready. We apologize for those who just joining us that we had technical problems at the beginning of this event. Lost some audio, of course. Mark did a stellar job in carrying us through all of the introductions and the analysis and the replays. We're back on track here. So, Mark, thank you so much for a great job. And let's go back a little bit and talk a little bit about the rule changes and this Westminster Waltz and what people can expect.
Yes, so as we mentioned, I don't know if anybody heard us on the first warm-up because of the technical difficulties, but this year, as is the case for every year, the International Skating Union has an ice dance technical committee to release new details for the upcoming criteria. And so for this year, for the rhythm dance, both the seniors and the juniors, the rhythm and theme is that of rhythm and waltz. So the skaters can choose any style of waltz that's permitted, from the traditional kind of ballroom-esque style to more modern interpretations and stylizations. And they must show at least one additional rhythm so that they can showcase that contrast to the waltz that they have chosen. And the things that are adamant that have to be showcased are a certain timing for the waltz music. So it's got to be at least 162 beats per minute for the waltz, so that then within the waltz elements, the Westminster Waltz, they have to perform 2 sections of a dance that was created 88 years ago. Something that was created in Westminster Ice Rink. And those are steps that have been renowned by the ice dance community for many years, but now in this context they have certain specifications for certain parts of the dance that will be scrutinized a little bit more closely by the technical panel for the key points, which can boost their technical element score.
And I know, Mark, you're just begging to ask me the question whether I was alive when this was first developed. The answer to that is a big no. And when you mention like 100, I think 62 beats or whatever, I mean, that's just, astronomical. It's hard for anybody to understand what that exactly means. But the one thing that is really interesting with this is the traditional Westminster Waltz, and you'll hear music that is not so traditional to that. So over all those years, the compulsory dance music was pretty strict and pretty similar all the way through. But here you'll hear quite a bit of a different approach. We've seen that actually the first 2 groups so far.
Yeah, so true, and it is really fascinating. There have been some events that have taken place already, some smaller, more domestic events. But it's really interesting for me just to witness in this, the first Junior Grand Prix, how much variation we are seeing and have seen already.
Yeah, and just sort of adds to the interest for the fans listening to this music, because you're thinking traditional, and it is from the origins, but it's not necessarily traditional as to what we'll see this season.
Yeah, and I think that's something that certainly the Iceland's Technical Committee are really mindful of, is to honour and respect the heritage and lineage of the sport. And compulsory dances, the Westminster Waltz, the dance that was created in 1938, it was created by Eric van der Weyden and Eva Keats, who they also created two other very commonly used compulsory dances, and they're so incredibly popular with the long stalwart fans of the sport. They're honouring that by using those steps within the context of this year's, international elite competition, but giving the skaters the chance to hopefully connect with an audience with more potential modern and popular music. So I think it's an admirable way of trying to showcase and appease to different facets of the ice dance fanship.
Yeah, and it's interesting that we've had conversations, of course, with the technical committee chairperson, and just learning not only what they're doing this year, but some of the vision moving forward. A very progressive group of people within the International Skating Union now, mostly we've seen over the past 2 years through the presentation of the sport, and that has been absolutely spectacular. And then there's the sport aspect of that as well, as to how does the sport actually change and make it new, continue to grow, if you will, without losing the traditions that already exist. And those elements, those aspects of the sport, so important to the athlete. The athlete wants to know they are in control. They want to understand the scoring system, which they do. Many people don't understand it, but they do. They clearly understand that. So it's going to be really interesting, the Vision 2030, as we've talked about at length last season, how the sport continues to grow and change over the next 4 years as we get set to start group number 3 in the rhythm dance here on day 1, week 1 of 7 in the Junior Grand Prix. And there is a look at our first team taking to the ice, and sort of an interesting story here. 18-year-old Shanji Jin and 19-year-old Shirui Yang. Now, her mom, Shanji, actually owns 2 ice rinks here. And it's very interesting. They're really in the business of ice arenas. She trains actually in the United States with Elena Novak and Alexei Kilikov. And they had a 5th place finish last year in Bangkok, 10th in Ankara, looking to improve that result right here.
Well, what a moment for Zhangji Jin and Shiruyi Yang. She born in this city and first time able to compete, and I think particularly more special because, as you mentioned, Ted, they train in Leesburg, USA with Alexia and Elena. So to be able to return to your home city and to represent your nation in front of what is a respectable number of crowd participants for a Junior Grand Prix must be incredibly special.
Yeah, it is. And you can see the stands starting to fill up here. So it's not just a big, beautiful building, but they've got a good audience. And I think it's evidently, I heard, I'm not sure it's guaranteed yet, but sold out for Friday. So, it could be really amazing. So great experience for this group of juniors at this competition with the venue, with the audience participation. They're very lucky to have that as well. But we've seen a growing audience, even in the small facilities throughout the Junior Grand Prix over the past few years. Mark, take us through the replays here in this rhythm dance.
Well, Zhangji and Shiruyi were going with the concept of a medieval vampire ball, and they really went with the concept throughout the whole program, even down to the hair that Shiruyi has. They're really going for a concept and entirety for the piece. Here we're looking back at some of the cool transitional content. So this, like a little dance spin, not a required element within the rhythm dance, but choosing to do difficult content that isn't necessary, but to try to push the composition component score from the panel. So we are treated to that again. And interestingly, it's the composition component. We get a little sneak peek in advance of what the judges are currently thinking, and their composition score is the highest of the three judges' scores currently. As we look back at the straight line lift, which is a little bit problematic, a little bit of a wobble there, so not the most comfortable of dismounts. And that might be reflected in the grade of execution as we look back at back inside counter within the non-touch step sequence. Good speed. Maybe they can just have a little bit increased refinement of their body control within regards to the posture. But what, again, great composition. Great job by Elena Novak and Lexi Kiliakov, their coaches. And also they work with Sean Cheeseman, who is a judge and choreographer in the TV shows like So You Think You Can Dance. So they've got great inputs as Alexi joins them. And how great that both Alexi and Elena are here. So they've got lots of teams competing. So they have both their coaches with them.
Oh, great to be back home for a while, at least for Zhangji, as they sit and wait for their scores. And they certainly have a great team, both on the ice and off the ice, giving them support in their development and their journey. Let's take a look at the rhythm dance scores. There it is, 53.61, and that'll put them currently into 6th place. And there's a look at your leaderboard so far in this event. Our next team represents Australia, brother-sister team of Chanel and Oscar Chum, 15 and 17 years old, first Junior Grand Prix event. They're coached by Jonathan Guerrero, former world and Olympic ice dancer.
And Chanel and Oscar have made a little bit of history for Australian ice dancers. They were medalists at Advanced Novice International last season. Now, first time as juniors.
A sweep it as lucky can be. Jiminy, Jim, chiroo. Good luck, we're above when I shake hands with you. Or blow me a kiss, and that's lucky too. Now as the ladder of life has been strung, you might think a sweet on the bottommost rung. Though I spends me time in the ashes and smoke, in this all wide world there's no happier bloke. Jiminy, chiree. A sweep is as lucky can be. Jiminy, chiree. Good luck, we're above when I shake hands with you. Jiminy, chiree. A sweep is as lucky can be. Jiminy, chiree. Good luck, we're above when I shake hands with you. flying up there. All at once you're lighter than air. You can dance on the breeze over houses and trees with your pistol and tight to the string of your kite.
It's supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. If you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. He traveled all around the world and everywhere he went, he'd use his word and all would say, there goes a clever gent.
When Dukes and Martha Rogers pass a time of day with me, I say we special wine and we all feel the tea.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. If you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious.
Well, what a charming rhythm dance for the brother and sister pairing of Chanel Chum and Oscar Chum. And just, to me, Ted, a perfect vehicle for a team in their first year as juniors. The Mary Poppins soundtrack had, similar to the medieval ball that we just saw, a framework that allowed a cohesive showcasing of waltz and different rhythms. I thought it was really well put together. The composition, so perfectly apt for this team.
Yeah, really fun music as well. But as the speed of that music picks up, I was sort of getting stressed because the music's picking up speed and they got to do the twizzles on that fast music and they got through everything. But what a key composition and, pretty well done. Good experience gained here, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely here. And you can see for both Chanel and Oscar, they don't look at all fazed by this, the biggest occasion that they have ever competed in. Looking really connected with the presentation of this element towards the judging panel, trying to push the grade of execution and the mid component as we look back at the Westminster Waltz. And there again, just a smile that is indicative of what is necessary for the music, but it appeared to be fairly genuine too.
Yeah, here's a look at the jump into the twizzles. This music is just moving along really quickly here, and they did a good job to hang on. A little out of sync here.
Yeah. And this is... there are much more difficult choices of feature that can be done, and it's just coming in as a level 3. But I think that's something that I was conscious of, is that the choreography, I'm not sure if it was Jonathan Guerrero, their coach, who choreographed the programs as well as Jonathan joins them now, but it was just seemed perfectly well pitched for the team at this stage of their development.
The score, 44.55, and that'll put Chanel and Oscar into 8th place. And they look still pretty happy with the performance and the score themselves. Again, expectations are come and learn, and they're doing that. Charming program. Cute. Our next team represents Israel. 16-year-old Rebecca Grace Lichman and 20-year-old Blake Gilman. First Junior Grand Prix event. They're coached and choreographed by Slava Ustial.
Slava explaining that this is very much one step at a time because they've only been together as a partnership for 11 weeks. They, like others before them, skating to the popular track, The Artist, for their rhythm dance. Oh, that was a very endearing camera shot there. Blake Gilman just looking and nodding towards his new partner, Rebecca Grace Lichtman, as they complete their rhythm dance. And as I mentioned before the start of the performance, so new to each other. And even the bow looks less rehearsed than the performance because they just haven't had the time to do so. And furthermore, these young skaters are busy athletes as well, because Rebecca is at an international school for athletes. She's interested in studying sports medicine, and Blake is a full-time student at a very prestigious Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania. So they're not just international competitors in an Olympic sport, they're also high academic pursuers as well. So total respect to them.
I thought they did marvelously well to get through this program with all that's going on and not much time to prepare, really. So it can feel like a struggle to them, but look pretty good overall.
Yeah. Little bobble there, which is understandable because the program choreography is essentially so new to them, as we see them working through what is a common feature for the difficult entry that many of the teams have been using, that lunge into the first twizzle. And here you can see the Group B feature as well within the second twizzle, as we see some articulation through the toe steps for the music into the right forward inside twizzle as part of their non-touch step sequence element. Now, currently the panel just reviewing that. There was a right forward outside rocker and a mohawk. So these some of the difficult turns that they used within the construction of that element to up their level, as we see the rotational lift, which is another element under review. So the technical panel just assessing whether or not the features have been achieved. As we see that.
Yeah, in this case, they had 5 elements and 4 of them were under review. So the technical panel had quite a bit of work to do. They've got one more element is just being cleared. The final element, the rotational lift in at a level 4, just being reviewed now. And then we will see their marks. But I think, really a good performance for this team. And of course, they're going to want to improve the skating skills, the unison, all those types of things that only time does. You need the time as we take a look at the technical panel, just finishing up on their work. And it's great to see the technical panel on screen. Now, we can hear them, of course. We tune into them sometimes. So they do an amazing job. And I know the public has never really seen them at work. And that looks like, that looks pretty boring. They're just writing things down, right? But they're scrutinizing every single element. Let's take a look at the scores for Rebecca and Blake. And there it is, 42.90. And that will put Rebecca and Blake currently into 9th place. Our next team represents Spain. Laura Sundberg, Hector Gonzalez Rivera. Laura and Hector are both 20 years old. This is their second Junior Grand Prix season. They are the Spanish junior champions, came 20th at the Junior World Championships last year. They're coached and choreographed by Neil Brown.
And Lara and Hector, such great characters. And this is their last year's juniors, so they're particularly grateful to have this experience in China. Lara Sundberg and Hector Gonzalez, Elvira from Spain. And this is one of the things that I know that you're so appreciative of,
Spain.
Ted, is being able to see teams year on year and then connect with them as athletes. And Lara and Hector, they're just great people and great ambassadors for the sport. And as I mentioned, I think in warm-up, I'm graduated now from high school. She's working as a translator to support her skating. And Hector is coaching private lessons. He's coaching hockey groups as well to support and fund their training. So they're doing all they can to facilitate this continued international experience as an ice dance team. But they're such good friends that they even went on holiday together. They went on holiday together to Morocco. So that, to me, is testament to what I sense and see when I watch them skate. You can see good energy and connection between them on the ice, and that's kind of corroborated by knowing that they choose to spend time with each other off the ice.
Love the music, Aaron Sean and Toss the Feather. Happy and joyful and just really fun to watch, and you can see them engaged in that as well. Let's go through the replays here, Mark.
Yeah, and great for them to, as we look through back at the Twizzles, to have chosen something, again, unique to all the other teams that we've seen thus far, but perfectly appropriate for the rhythm and waltz. As we see good synchronicity, probably one of the most synchronized rotation that we've seen of all the teams thus far, as we look back at the Westminster waltz. And here this cross roll 3-turn, that one of the key points, and then leading into the next. This reminded me of Piper Gillis and Popwari, I think. Wonderfully difficult transition, changing edge into the curved lift. Some complex transitional content and use of hold here too. It's much more difficult to skate within this kind of intertwined hold than it is to be in a more open stance. And so that should be reflected in the composition. Maybe not as fast, as much ice coverage as others, so maybe that's the skating skills. Now that is Nuggets, who is their mascot duck. So there you go. Nuggets made the kiss and cry, as did Coach Neil Brown.
Well, it's a 54.13 program with a nod of approval by Neil for sure, and the team. And that'll put them currently into 6th place. And they look pretty happy with that little high five in the kiss and cry.
Our next team is representing the United States of America.
Our next team represents the United States. Annalise Stapert and Maxime Kortkov. Both are 17 years old. This is their second Junior Grand Prix season with 2 very respectful 5th place finishes last year. They're coached and choreographed by Elena Novak and Alexei Kilikov.
They will skate to Oh Misbeliever and Implicit Demand for Proof.
I know you're not
Annalise Tepper and Maxim Kurokov from the United States of America. A team that have been together for 10 years, and you can see the strength of their partnership evident on display. This couple, like some of the others, have had a domestic debut of their performance already. They competed in Lake Placid at that event, and they had a 51.37 scoring rhythm dance there. And I think this, and you can see in the reaction to the performance, much stronger than what was delivered in upstate New York as they compete here in China.
Yeah, it's their second Junior Grand Prix season. They certainly had some pretty good results last year, looking to improve this season, both on the ice and on the results sheet as well. We take a look at the midline steps. Good unison, good speed across the ice.
Yeah, and the team had explained that they loved the energy of Believer, the energy of the song, which showcased a different side to them. And here within the non-touch, you can see that kind of aggressive approach to this. And now looking back at good synchronicity within the twizzles, and that enhanced by the fact that they have been together so long, so they're more comfortable being in proximity to one another and rotating at the same speed as we see the conclusion of their the Westminster Waltz there. And this year, the teams, there's no restriction on the pattern in the rhythm dance. So the eagle-eyed viewers will spot perhaps that the teams are traveling in different kind of directions than they would conventionally have moved in an anti-clockwise way around the rink in previous years.
Which I think
storytelling is to that.
Which I think it was a good decision by the committee. Rather than having the traditional patterns, whatnot, you've got the dance itself, the rhythm, but be creative with that and don't be so restricted.
Yeah, too true. And what a nice picture there, because Elena and Alexei, their coaches, have been the same coaches the whole time in their partnership, and now sharing a moment all together in China as they await their scores, and hopefully they'll be elated with what's to come.
Yeah, their personal best, 57.77. We'll see how close they come to that. This is, of course, their first time out this season. Internationally, at least, on the Junior Grand Prix. Let's take a look at the score. There it is, 56.90, and they look really thrilled with that score. And there they are in the third place, top 5 teams so far in this event. Final group about to take the ice for the warm-up. So nice to see people happy in the kiss and cry, eh, Mark?
Yes. Yeah, that's it's my favorite thing, I think. Happy people in the kiss and cry.
Well, we'll step aside and let you get introduced to group number 4. And we're back. Mark, you had mentioned in the last group, Piper and Paul, of course, the Olympic bronze medalists. Interesting story. They're going to be team leaders for Canada in the Junior Grand Prix. So I believe Piper's going to Riga next week and Paul's going to one a little bit later. So they're giving back to the development of the team and the skaters with the other team leaders as well. So I thought it was a really cool story and thrilled to have them on board.
That's just wonderful, and how amazing for athletes to get that experience to help steer them and guide them through these early experiences in their international career. That's mega cool.
Yeah, exactly. Now, we have some questions coming in on Instagram. What have you got for us?
Yes, thank you to those that have sent in questions to the International Skating Union's social media and questions that have come in. First one, what changes this season are you most excited about for ice dance, singles, and air?
Well, Mark, we're going to start with ice dance. The ball is yours. Take it over.
Okay. I think, actually, as is always the case, the Ice Dance Technical Committee released the new criteria. There are various different minor changes, but what I'm really enjoying already at this early stage in the Junior Grand Prix is to see the variation and diversity in the music choices.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, it's waltz and rhythm for the rhythm dance for juniors and seniors, but we just saw like a later Hosen type Dirndl stylization. So I sense, even without knowing the music yet to come of these teams, again, yet another kind of concept for the rhythm dance. So far, we've seen Parisian cafes, we have seen Swan Lake, we've seen such variation that impresses me and pleases me that the skaters and the teams have been able to really embrace the concept. Happy with that.
Okay.
Back to you, Ted.
Well, we will discuss the pair event during the pair event itself, of course, the singles as well. And there hasn't been a lot of changes. There's been some minor ones, and I think that the philosophy of the people we've spoken to have said, they don't want to change for change's sake. That's number one. And number two is to really evaluate what they want the sport to be in the next 4 years coming down the road here. So they're taking a good look. And the wonderful thing is the committees are really reaching out into the coaching community and involving the coaches' input. Now, you can't please everyone, and you're not going to make the decision of any one person, but you're going to gather information. And I think that is fantastic to speak to the community who knows it best. The coaches are on the ice working with those kids every day and understanding the skill development and getting their input as to what type of rules can improve the sport and still fit nicely into the work of the athlete and the coach. So we'll see what happens over the next 4 years. So the rules this year, although there have been some adjustments, and we'll talk about that, they're not major ones. And I think that was good coming off the Olympic season. Let it settle a little bit.
Yeah, and I think it's just important to note that there was discussion and rumour about some vast radical changes, and yet upon discussion, as you said, Ted, with the coaches and the skaters, the powers that be recognised that those kind of changes wouldn't have been welcomed by the community. So there was definitely an obvious example of, we hear you, and we're on your side.
No, and that's great. I mean, the fact that the organization, all people working together, listening to one another, and the skaters spoke up with that. They understand the system. And although I know that we being broadcasters, and I don't mean just you and I, but broadcasters for networks and whatnot, have done a very good job, or the best job we could do, at explaining in simplistic terms how this is judged and what to be looking for. I think the ISU and the networks perhaps will be working together closely and finding, well, what are the things? Or you can see the graphics are more improved. What other things can we do to help engage the audience into what's happening on the ice and what's happening on the judging panel? So I think there's much more to come, and some discussion amongst all the partners, if you will, is happening, and that's really good news.
True. Another question quickly, Ted, as we conclude this warm-up from @Angel25110. How are you?
How what? What was that?
How are you?
How are you?
Are you well?
No, who, me? What? I probably sound bad. I sounded bad at the beginning of this event because there was no voice. We didn't have any audio there. So I'm great. I loving life as you do. If you're a positive person, which I am, if you have vision for the future, which is how I've lived my life. It doesn't matter what the situation is. I enjoy life, and I enjoy what I do. I really enjoy the juniors because we watch their journey, both on the ice and off the ice, and get to share in that. So that's pretty cool. And how are you doing, Mark?
Good. Loving life. A little sleep deprived with the time difference, but it's all good.
Time difference? Oh, yeah, that's right. You had to get up early. You're at home. Okay, here we go. Final group in the rhythm dance. Day one, event one. We will be followed by the women's short program and the pair short program a little bit later today. Our first team represents the United States. 17-year-old Jane Calhoun, 19-year-old Mark Jeltsev. Second Junior Grand Prix season, 5th place finish in Baku last year, and they were the bronze medalists at the U.S. Nationals in junior.
Skating to the Master and Margarita. Jane Calhoun and Mark Jeltsev from the United States of America, showcasing just such maturity. The immediate and opening impression for me was of such a mature team. And I think, like the other Americans, Annalise and Maxime, that we saw already in this event, a team that are showcasing a big improvement since the Lake Placid competition, and that a real good example of getting out early and debuting the programs as early as possible to be able to make the improvements that I think were evident within this performance.
And, you know, it's interesting. We've talked about this last season, that the progress that we see in these teams when they come back to a second Junior Grand Prix, perhaps 3 or 4 weeks later. This is still so early on. They've just finished their summer school, and here they are in international competition.
And this, a team that have had a very recent coaching change. So obviously big life changes underway as we look back at the non-touch step sequence. And this for me was the highlight of the program, the step sequence here. A slight break in the rotation perhaps there for Mark. So we see the right forward outside second twizzle. Good characterization throughout that. So we see an intensity on the face of Jane in particular as she attempts to push the presentation component score. Tiny bit of delay and caution and hesitation there on the entry, difficult entry in the rotational lift. And interestingly, they, like one of the other teams that we've seen already, incurred that extended lift deduction, so going beyond the 8 seconds allowed, which is a frustration because that's a 1 point deduction as the charismatic Pasquale Carmalengo joins them in the kissing cry.
And, you know, as they sit in the kiss and cry in the very first week or their very first Junior Grand Prix this season, it's sort of feeling, where are we at and what were our expectations as to how we would feel when we get off the ice, and they gathered all that information, gather momentum as the number of competitions increase. Of course, competitions are experienced, and you need to have that throughout the season to be able to improve that program. But this is the start, and it's early on. Let's take a look at the scores for Jane and Mark. It's a 56.42, and that will put them currently into 4th place with 4 teams to come. Our next team represents Hong Kong, Yu Xin and Han Wan Chao. 15 and 20 years old, second Junior Grand Prix season, with a 7th and 9th place finish last year in the Junior Grand Prix, and they're coached by Shun Shen, choreographed by Pascal Denis, and Mark Pascal Denis, a choreographer in all disciplines, but he was also the head coach of the 4-time synchronized world champions in Canada.
from Hong Kong, Yuxuan Xing and Hanawan Chao. And this yet again, another stylistic choice, The Sound of Music, and perhaps The Sound of Music, not necessarily the choice or first choice of a 15 and 20-year-old, but it provided a really good framework for this rhythm and waltz and really satisfying the criteria that is necessary for them. And I thought particularly great musical phrasing for the Westminster Waltz, that one of the first section of the Westminster Waltz perfectly phrased.
Interesting, you sort of related age to a piece of music, which can be really true because you could do something too mature for you or, too young for you, right? But I thought they did this beautifully.
Really well delivered. And also interesting as we look through the different teams for Yuxuan and Hanwan, I was conscious that they may not have had the same speed as others, but they are clean and tidy and tidier than some of the others. And this is a great highlight, the jump entry, the sort of Stalco entry into the twizzles, maintaining ice coverage and speed. Actually would really give them a good minimum +2 grade of execution, maybe +3 for me on that for the team as we look back at their rotational lift.
Well, they had a level 3 and 4 with a 1.26 GOE added to that base element, so pretty good score off that one element.
Their flower crowns adorning their head now as Shunjang joins them. And I suppose within the competition, we've just got to consider this team were 19th at Junior Worlds. They'll be looking against some of the other results from the other skaters that they competed against at the Junior World Championships in Tallinn, Estonia earlier this year.
Rhythm dance scores 51.62, nodding the head approval of that 10th place finish so far. 3 teams to come. And there is a look at our next team representing Germany. Desi Abigail Howing Moxley and Artem Sladkov. Both are 16 years old. They are coached and choreographed by Elena Novik and Alexei Kilikov. This is their first Junior Grand Prix event.
And this another very new team, only having partnered up in April of this year. Desi Abigail Howing-Moxley and Artyom Sladkov. Really impressed by the power, speed, and strength of this team. And Desi comes from solo dance, so she doesn't have the experience in a partnership, but she has competed within the solo dance competitions. Artyom, he has competed at the Junior Grand Prix over the past couple of seasons with other partners, but this a really strong foundation from which to grow. And as we mentioned, both of us struck by the apparent power from this team.
Well, the aggressiveness, they were, exerting themselves for gaining speed and keeping the flow throughout that program. And even at the risk of, going too fast, it was done really, really well. There were some little glitches here and there, but overall, good ice coverage, good aggressiveness.
And if it is the case that Desi hasn't really had the experience, she's primarily been more of a solo dance competitor, then the comfort in interacting with each other, all the more impressive. And also a performance ability to just maybe checking the turns there for Artyom within the twizzles.
Good deep edge coming into that midline step.
Work, and then they have acknowledged that as a new team they know that they have a long way to go, but Vitaly Schultz, one of their other coaches, was explaining that they're deeply passionate about the artistic side of skating, and how wonderful then that these two have found a sport that offers them opportunity to tap into that artistry as we get the husband and wife pairing. And this will be an interesting then framework, because for me, I think this is the strongest pairing that Artyom has had, as we've seen him on the Junior Grand Prix before. But will he be then thinking mindfully about the scores that he's achieved with former partners, or just conscious of taking this in an isolation of the development of this team from a long-term athlete development plan? Can't help but, compute the numbers in your brain with different kind of thought processes. Lilo and Stitch represented in the Kiss and Cry as well. I think that's Angel. I think my 9-year-old daughter has corrected me on these Disney characters.
Rhythm dance scores for Desi and Artyom, 54.54, and that will put them currently into 6th place. I'm not sure what that reaction was. They think that's good, or not sure, but
yeah. You happy?
Oh, okay, it looks so.
And now to the penultimate team in this rhythm dance competition, Xin Yu Kang and Shibo Hao. Third and final Chinese team competing in this rhythm dance, and we've seen impressive performances delivered already by the other two Chinese teams who currently find themselves in 7th and 10th place of the 16 teams that have competed thus far. They skate to feeling good.
scent of the pine. You know how I feel. Oh, freedom is mine, and I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling
Shen Yu Kang and Xibo Hao from China, and a team that has not had any international competitive experience, and yet they corroborating and confirming that Chinese ice dance appears strong and buoyant over the future based on the 3 different performances that we have seen, not just from 3 different teams, but from different coaches as well. So testament to the fact that there's a depth and a breadth of good information being delivered in this discipline for the Chinese skaters.
Yeah, we were just mentioning that off air that, you know, we've watched a lot of junior skating in this year. All 3 of these teams have really strong basics. Yeah, there's lots of room for improvement, but they're standing out. So there's great improvement already being made here, Mark.
Yeah, that was great entry, difficult entry into the Twizzles. And I think also, you know, China's obviously been so incredibly strong, particularly in pairs, but also in singles. And yet the 6 skaters that we've seen in this competition representing the host nation in ice dance have obviously been taught with an ice dance technique and stylization, because they skate stylistically different to the single skaters and pair skaters that we've seen from this nation before. So I think that testament to the development of the coaches as well, making sure that it is really specific to the needs of the discipline.
Well, it's going to be very interesting to watch all these teams progress, not only this year, but over the next 4 years. Some of these skaters will be vying for Olympic spots down the road, as long as they're age eligible. Of course, they have to be 17 to be able to qualify for that, for the seniors.
And I think another consideration may be for some of these strong skating nations like China is the team event as well, and for China making sure that they have strong representation across all 4 disciplines for competitivity in the team event at the Olympic Winter Games as well.
You can see the hands are clasped.
Hands are clasped.
Yeah, exactly. Going, okay, what are the scores going to be?
I really like this team. I think they were not much slower, but they were slower than the other 2 Chinese teams that we've seen thus far. I think the potential is great, but I think that their speed was not comparable to the others. So from a component score perspective, it's going to be weaker than the other 2 teams.
So we take a brief look at the technical panel. The hands are now holding each other, waiting for the scores. And it's a 45.38. Not of approval for that. And that will put this team currently into 13th place. But you can see the commitment to the discipline of ice dance by the Chinese Figure Skating Association and their commitment into the future. As we take a look at our next team from Canada, Summer Hummock and Nicholas Bulow. This team did not have any luggage. In fact, the whole Canadian team had no luggage and no skates as of yesterday. They just arrived late at night, and here they are on the ice for the rhythm dancer, coached by Mitchell Islam, David Islam, choreographed by Caitlin Weaver and Mitchell Islam.
Summer and Nick will skate to Kiss by Prince.
Hello, how are you? Looking so fine, no, it's true. Remember the time we first met? You think that was good, you ain't seen nothing yet. Like
kiss.
The final team, Summer Hummock and Nicholas Bulow from Canada, conclude the rhythm dance. And of her retread, I just love the track so much. It's such a fun and engaging track. But what it's perhaps a personal preference, but what I really appreciate is that their delivery and presentation, it's got an understated cool about it. It's not too extroverted in your face. And for me, that's just as engaging, and I can sense perhaps a little bit of the lineage of influence and inspiration they've had. Obviously working with Caitlin Weaver having worked with Shailene Bourne, you can see that same kind of just brilliantly cool delivery in the performance ability. It's not overt extroverted, but it's engaging, and I like it.
And I'm sure that's all sort of under development, and I had a conversation with this team a little earlier. They're looking for more maturity and more speed in the second half of the program was a big priority.
As we look back now, I suppose, for Summer and Nicholas, as we review the Twizzles, they come in this season to the Junior Grand Prix, and this their third consecutive season on this stage, having 2 years ago being within the top 10, last year being double bronze medalists on the Junior Grand Prix. Now is there a consideration of, well, can we make the final? Can we move up to the second and first place positions within a Junior Grand Prix to be potential contenders to return to the Junior Grand Prix final in this country?
Yeah, you can see the experience they've had so far. Now they want to get the result. They're getting closer, but how high can they go in the juniors here? And they identified that they needed more speed, they needed more maturity in their performance, and what they're working on. We'll take a look at the score. They have a 58.78 as their personal best. How close they will come to that, we'll find out in just a moment, and see where that places them as we look once again at the very focused technical panel there. Hard at work. Fans have never heard the technical panel, but when you listen to it, it's like listening to air traffic controllers. They're just focused solely on what is happening on the ice. It's not a feeling thing about the costume or the music. It's clearly technical. It's amazing. And after 2 or 3, you're going to say, okay, this is boring because they're doing such a good job at it. But it's really fascinating to listen to the technical panel work, and they do such a great job. Lots to focus on in ice dance, that's for sure.
And actually, having seen the scores, the technical panel have dropped the levels a little bit. So they were coming in around second place, almost very close to Bianchi and Brazil from Italy, but some level alterations that have just come in. You can see them drift down.
Yeah, they were more around, I think, around a 57. It's a 55.94. That'll put Summer and Nicholas currently into 5th place. They were there, but there was a couple technical things that brought those scores down a little bit. And you see they're less than 2 points out of 3rd. So, we've seen lots happen in the free dance in the juniors. Lots can happen. Okay, that concludes the coverage of the rhythm dance here, the first event, as we take a look at the standings so far. Maria and Artem in 1st place, Zoe and Danielle in 3rd, and Annalise and Maxime in 3rd place for them, as we take a look at the standings for the rest of the teams. Well, up next will be the women's short program. That will be exciting. Some brilliant skaters and some we haven't seen, so stand by for that, and we'll be back after a short break.